to do today is cover the second part of creating the perfect bust line. In the first part, we covered chest press with the dumbbells and how that should be done. Now we're going to cover a chest fly using dumbbells and a ball, all of which many of you have at home. So what we're going to have Heather do first is just lift her hips up just a little bit and let her upper back start to fall onto the ball, and then shift her hips forward until her head is supported. You got it, good. And then actually I'm going to have her reach both hands up in the air and make sure that she can remain stable on the ball. So here there's a lot of things that can go on with control in the abs, and being on the ball is really about having a really nice bridge. So I'm going to have her actually drop her hips down, but I want to pretend there's a glass of water here sitting on the top of her chest, and her hips are going to stretch down away, but she's going to try and balance that glass of water with just a little bit of lift in her chin. Good. And then she's going to use her abs to tuck her pelvis in just a little bit, and then start to use her butt and her hamstrings to bring her hips back up into the air until she feels flat. Now if she pushes too hard, she's going to go into an arch on the ball and be a little too tight in her back, and her chest is not going to be in a great position there. So we're going to have her sit down where it's nice and neutral and she feels supported. The next most important thing is that she's not allowed to elevate her shoulders towards her ears. So Heather, go ahead and do that for me. So up in here, if her shoulders are too high, she's going to end up pinching in her neck when she tries to open her chest, and that's not going to feel very good at all. And that's why a lot of people do get some neck problems and middle back problems when they try chest flies. So what we're going to do is have her pull down using the muscles of her rib cage and her lats to pull down and keep her shoulders in position. Secondly, when she goes to open her arms, I don't want her to think about falling backwards with her arms. I actually want to have pretend that there is some bubble gum in between her hands, and she's stretching that bubble gum out. Good. And then that bubble gum is going to pull back together in front of her. So she really wants to think about going long and not really going back. Secondly, we're also going to look at the position of her head and her chin. So I'm going to have her slide forward in just a little bit. Good, hold there, and then we'll lift the hips back up in the air, and then we'll have her lift her chin just a little bit. Good, and pay attention to the distance between the bottom of her chin and her throat up to the top of her collarbone, because really that's the beginning of the bust line. All right, so we're going to give her the dumbbells since she's ready. We're going to take just the right arm down nice and slow. And Heather, I want you to keep that wrist nice and straight with the hand. Flex that wrist in just a little bit. There you go, good. And then hold it right there. And you want to make sure that there's just a little bit of bend in the elbow, and you want to feel constant tension running down from your hand down to the elbow, through the bicep, and then really looping underneath through the shoulder and into the top of the chest over here, just like we did in the chest press. So as your left side comes down, try and measure it out exactly the same angle. You're trying to stretch a piece of fabric in front of you exactly the same on both sides. And then let it hang right there, that little bit of bend in the elbow, nice stretch through to here and into the interior part of the chest, the upper part of the chest. Because what we want to do is we don't want to build a lot of mass in her chest. What we want to do is just create that nice little line down the center that really accentuates her cleavage and helps give her lift in her bust line. So from here, I want you to just exhale and bring both hands up just to here, right there. As soon as your shoulders start to close up here in the front, we're not really in this interior part of the chest anymore. So again, bring them down, very good. We're going to lift the chin here just a little bit. Good, exhale and bring them up just to right there. That looked like better tension to me, so let's go ahead and take both hands apart again. Stretch that bubble gum out. Good, exhale and bring them up just till you feel them contract. As soon as the shoulders start, then you stop moving. Good, and try and keep that constant tension for about 4 more. Good, 3. Good, 2. And 1. Good job.